It all began on the day I was supposed to receive a gift. I had never imagined that the universe, vast and indifferent as it seemed, would deliver a surprise of such magnitude. A gift, yes, but not the kind one wraps neatly in paper and ribbons. No, this was something far stranger, far more extraordinary. I was still a man of ordinary habits, working the night shift as a systems analyst on the orbital station Lyra 9. I lived a life of repetition: code, monitor, debug, repeat. Occasionally, I'd indulge in the station's sparse entertainment, a synthetic sunset simulator or the Holo Lounge, but my life had little excitement beyond routine. That morning, a faint ping on my comlink broke the monotony. "Mr. Soren, your package has arrived," the voice of the station's logistics AI announced. I frowned at the message. Packages weren't common on Lyra 9, especially for someone like me. I wasn't part of any grand mission, nor was I particularly famous or influential. A gift, I muttered under my breath. When I arrived at the docking bay, I found a small, unmarked container floating gently inside the cargo hold, tethered securely with zero-grav clamps. Its surface was polished, almost liquid-like, reflecting the dim lights of the bay in waves of undulating color. There were no labels, no sender information, just a note, written in sleek metallic ink. For Soren. Open carefully. Curiosity, always my weak point, got the better of me. I reached for the container and triggered the release. A low hum filled the bay, and the container slowly unfolded like a metallic flower. Inside, instead of the simple trinkets or advanced gadgets I had half expected, there was a person. She was suspended in a pool of luminous liquid, her form delicate yet otherworldly. Her hair floated around her like ribbons of silver light, and her skin shimmered faintly, reflecting colors I didn't have names for. She opened her eyes, and I froze. Those eyes, vivid, golden, and impossibly deep, seemed to pierce through me, through the layers of logic and cynicism I had built around my mind. She looked human in structure, yet every detail, her elongated limbs, the faint luminescence beneath her skin, spoke of something entirely alien. "What? Who are you?" My voice sounded absurdly small in the cavernous bay. "I am Princess Elora of the planet Vealoria," she said, her voice musical, almost resonating in the air around me rather than through it. "And I believe you were expecting a gift." I swallowed hard, fumbling for words. I mean, yes, but not this. This is impossible." Elora smiled faintly, almost wistfully. "The universe is full of impossibilities, Mr. Soren, and some gifts are more personal than you might imagine." Even as I stared at her, part of me wanted to rationalize. Perhaps it was some experimental AI, a hyper-realistic hologram. Yet the warmth emanating from her, the subtle pulse of life, was undeniably real. My rational mind balked, but my instincts, the primitive, human ones, whispered something utterly different. Protect her. Understand her. Keep her safe. The days that followed were a blur. Elora was placed in the station's medical bay, her vital signs monitored constantly. The AI assured me that her biology was compatible with human care, though it often referred to her as unknown entity, which was both technically correct and absurdly inadequate. I spent hours beside her, speaking, observing, learning. She seemed curious about everything. The simplest things amazed her. The hum of the station's engines, the way light bent through glass, the human ritual of coffee, which she insisted on tasting despite her initial hesitation. "It is bitter, yet comforting," she said one morning, holding the steaming cup like a fragile relic. We communicated through a translator, though her language was musical and intricate. She often taught me phrases from Vealoria, words that rolled across my tongue like silk. And in return, I shared with her stories of my life, of Earth, of humanity's achievements and failures, of our simple joys and quiet regrets. She listened with an intensity that unnerved me sometimes, as if each word I spoke carried the weight of the cosmos. But Ellora's presence brought complications, too. Other station personnel began to notice. Some were curious, others fearful. Security protocols tightened, and soon whispers spread through the corridors. The princess has arrived. The term princess had a gravity I hadn't expected. It implied royalty, diplomacy, and danger all at once. My life, once meticulously predictable, had become an orbit of uncertainty around this alien queen-in-waiting. Then came the incident that changed everything. It was night on Lyra 9, though in zero gravity, night was merely a designation of lighting cycles. I was in the observation deck, staring at the distant shimmer of the Veilorian system through the reinforced glass. Ellora floated beside me, her form outlined in the soft glow of the artificial stars. Suddenly, alarms blared, a sharp, insistent klaxon. The AI announced, "Unauthorized boarding detected. Security breach in docking bay 6. I didn't wait. I grabbed Ellora's hand. "We need to move. Now." The corridors were chaos. Armed mercenaries, clad in dark exosuits, stormed through the station. Their target was clear, Ellora. Her golden eyes widened, but she didn't panic. Instead, she extended her hands, and a pulse of light emanated from her palms. I stumbled backward as energy waves rippled outward, disabling security cameras and knocking intruders off balance. What are you doing?" I gasped. "I protect myself," she said simply. "And you." The fight was brief, chaotic, and surreal. Ellora moved with an elegance that was terrifying in its precision. The intruders fell back, retreating through the docking bay, and we were left standing in the silence that followed, broken only by the hum of the station's life support systems. I looked at her, my mind struggling to process everything. You just defended me against trained soldiers." Ellora's expression softened. "You are the reason I am here, Soren. Without you, I would not have been received safely by the human authorities. You were chosen as my guardian." "Chosen?" I asked, incredulous. "By who?" "The Council of Veloria," she said. "They know that to integrate with humans, someone of Earth must act as intermediary. Someone they can trust. You were selected because of your neutrality, your intellect, and perhaps your heart." Her words left me speechless. Me? Neutral? Trustworthy? I was, at best, a quiet observer in a galaxy teeming with power struggles and interstellar politics. And yet here I was, tasked with the unimaginable, protecting an alien princess whose mere existence could change humanity's place in the cosmos. The weeks that followed were a mixture of wonder, fear, and revelation. Ellora adjusted to human environments slowly. She marveled at the station's limited technology, questioned everything from gravity cycles to food replicators, and insisted on understanding human emotions as if they were alien artifacts. I found myself explaining joy, sorrow, love, and fear in painstaking detail, using anecdotes from my own life. One night, as we floated near the observation deck, Ellora turned to me. "Soren, do you understand why the council sent me here?" I hesitated. "To negotiate? Establish relations." She shook her head, the strands of her silver hair floating around her like liquid light. "Not only that. Humans have something we lack, something vital. Compassion. Curiosity. Courage that does not come from power, but from choice. I am here to witness that to see if humans are worthy allies in the galaxy's great conflicts, and perhaps to see if I can trust one among you. I swallowed, feeling the weight of her gaze. And you trust me? Her golden eyes softened. I believe I will learn to. It was in those quiet moments, amid the distant stars and the soft hum of life support, that a bond formed between us, a strange, impossible connection that transcended species, language, and the boundaries of what I had believed was possible. I realized that I cared for her not just as a princess or a responsibility, but as someone I wanted to understand, to protect, to be near. Our lives were soon complicated further by the arrival of diplomats, scientists, and eventually, the emissaries from Vealoria themselves. They came with questions, inspections, and cautious approval. Elora, with a dignity that was almost incomprehensible to me, navigated each encounter with grace, though she often sought my counsel in private. Soren, she would say, your perspective is human. It matters. I need it. One evening, after a long day of political briefings and cultural demonstrations, she approached me in the empty corridor. Soren, I have made a decision. I looked at her, sensing the gravity in her tone. What decision? I wish to remain here with humans for now. My people will understand eventually. And she hesitated, a flicker of vulnerability crossing her features. I wish to remain with you. The word struck me harder than I expected. I had spent weeks caring for her, teaching her, protecting her, and in some quiet corners of my mind, imagining a life with her. Yet hearing her express it, so direct, so unguarded, was overwhelming. Elora, I don't know what to say. She smiled, a slow, luminous smile. Say nothing. Just be here. That is enough. The months that followed became a rhythm of extraordinary normalcy. Elora adapted to life aboard the station, learning, laughing, and growing closer. I guided her through human society, and she taught me the complexities of Vealorian thought, culture, and philosophy. Together, we forged a bridge between worlds, a fragile but beautiful connection between Earth and the distant planet of Vealoria. Then came the day that would define everything. The Council of Vealoria arrived in full force, their ships gleaming in the station's orbit. Elora was summoned to answer for her choices. I waited outside the chambers, heart pounding, unsure of what fate awaited us. Hours passed. Finally, the doors opened. Elora emerged, her golden eyes scanning the room, before settling on me. Soren, she said, her voice steady, resolute. The council wishes me to return, but I have made my choice. I held my breath, and that is... She smiled, a warmth that made the cold metallic corridors seem like home. My choice is here, with you, on Earth, among humans, for now, and for as long as I may. I felt a surge of relief, joy, and disbelief all at once. You mean you're staying? Yes, she said. I am staying. Because sometimes the greatest gift is not what you expect, but what chooses you instead. The universe, in its vast indifference, had delivered its most improbable gift to me. Not a trinket, not a technological marvel, not even a token of diplomacy, but an alien princess, living, breathing, and luminous, who had chosen to trust me and, in turn, allowed me to care for her. And in that moment, floating amid the stars, I understood a truth deeper than any algorithm or cosmic theory. Life's greatest surprises are never the ones we plan. They arrive unbidden, demanding courage, compassion, and the willingness to believe in impossibilities. Elora had changed my life, not with grandeur or spectacle, but with presence, with trust, and with a bond that stretched across the galaxies. I expected a gift, yes. But the universe had given me far more than that. It had given me Elora, and with her, the beginning of a story that neither of us would ever forget. The day Elora officially chose to stay was only the beginning of something far larger than either of us had imagined. The council's emissaries were diplomatic but firm, their golden robes shimmering against the station's metallic walls. Princess Elora, the lead counselor, intoned, "You are called to return to Veloria. Your presence is required to maintain the balance of our worlds." Elora turned slowly, her gaze drifting to me. In that moment, the power of her choice was palpable. "I will not return, not yet," she said. "I have found something on the station, something I could not have anticipated. I have found trust. I have found Soren." The counselors exchanged glances. I could feel the tension pressing down on every inch of the room. But Elora's resolve was unshakable. "My people will understand that some gifts cannot be measured in rank or bloodline. Some gifts," she said, her voice carrying across the chamber like a melody, "are meant to be lived, shared, and chosen." I stepped forward, suddenly aware that the eyes of an entire alien civilization were on me. "Princess Elora, you've changed my life in ways I never could have imagined. And I promise to stand beside you, to help you navigate this world, to protect you, as you've protected me." My words felt small against the magnitude of her presence, yet I spoke them with every ounce of honesty I had. A silence settled over the chamber, thick and heavy, before Elora smiled, a smile that lit up the metallic expanse and seemed to ripple across the void outside the station's windows. "Then it is settled," she said. "For now, my place is here. And I will learn from you, Soren, as much as you will learn from me." The counselors hesitated, and then, one by one, bowed in quiet acceptance. It was an acknowledgement, not of defeat, but of understanding, a recognition that sometimes the heart and the human experience were as vital as political duty or galactic tradition. That evening, the station felt different. The hum of life support, the distant twinkle of stars, even the cold steel corridors seemed warmer, infused with possibility. Elora and I floated side by side in the observation deck, staring out at the galaxy we now shared. I realized then that our bond was more than trust or duty, it was partnership. We had chosen each other in a universe that rarely offered choices at all. "I never expected this," I admitted quietly, tracing the outline of her luminous hand. "I thought a gift would be something small, something simple. And instead," my voice faltered. "Instead, the universe gave me you." Elora's golden eyes glimmered. "The universe always gives what it believes we need, even if we do not understand it at first. I have learned that lessons, protection, and even love can take forms we never anticipate." She leaned closer, and for the first time, I felt the warmth of her presence, not just a radiant glow, but something tangible, grounding, and real. "Soren," she whispered, "whatever comes next, we face it together. Earth, Veloria, the stars between us, we face them all, side by side." I nodded, feeling the weight of her words settle like a mantle of destiny I never asked for, but would never relinquish. Together, we would navigate uncharted territories, human and alien alike. Together, we would learn, fight, protect, and perhaps, one day, love in ways neither of us had imagined possible. As we floated among the artificial stars of Lyra 9, the galaxy spread before us like a canvas awaiting creation. The universe had delivered its gift. It had given me Elora, not as a prize or a token, but as a companion, a confidant, and perhaps, in time, something even deeper. And for the first time in my life, I realized that ordinary days, even in the endless void of space, could hold infinite possibilities. The station lights dimmed to night cycle mode, the stars twinkling brighter than before. Elora rested her head against my shoulder, her fingers entwined with mine, and I knew this improbable, impossible life was only the beginning. No more gifts, no more surprises. The greatest gift had arrived, alive, breathing, and luminous, and it had chosen me. And in that quiet, infinite moment, I understood something profound. The universe did not always give what you expected. Sometimes it gave far more, something extraordinary, beautiful, and eternal. And that was exactly what I had received.